Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're here with part 46 of our F1 2021 MyTeam career mode here for the Italian Grand Prix around the Temple of Speed at Autodromo Nazionale Monza. And I'm sure it's normally a banger around this track, very slipstreamy kind of race with lots of overtakes. Last time out we were in Belgium, where we finished in third place on the podium. Unfortunately, Max didn't score any points there because just some crappy team strategy, but you can see we lead the championship by 2 points heading into this round over Charles Leclerc, and then Verstappen's sort of around 40 points off of us at the moment, but hopefully he can sort of claw back towards that now. That is in a sort of a bit of a car. Our car is a little bit better than the Red Bull, so hopefully that gives him the pace he needs to actually get into the title fight this time round. And he certainly proved that he's got the pace in Belgium in qualifying when he got on pole position in his first session for the team. So I've certainly got confidence that he's got the pace to get more poles, win races, but unfortunately he just got unlucky. Yeah, we're going obviously for the Constructors and Drivers' Championship in this final season of my team on this iteration of the game, considering we haven't gotten either yet. So yeah, it'd be nice to get at least one of those. Really, I'd focus more on the Constructors. But yeah, let's have a look at the grid rundown for the race.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Perez, Benjamin and Norris, Bottas, Sainz, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda and Russell, Ocon, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi, Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman and Nobuharu Matsushita. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid, lining up in P5 for the Italian Grand Prix, which not a bad result considering how tight the field is, but some things to point out from the qualifying session is that Leclerc obviously on pole position there on the Ferrari in his the team's home race, so I'm sure the Tifosi will be absolutely loving that. Verstappen in second and Vettel third. Other interesting points is that Norris has outqualified Sainz, so maybe Norris has sort of gotten over his little spell where he's been just sort of off the pace for the first half of this season. It'll be nice to see the reigning world champion maybe get himself towards the front of the grid a bit more and maybe even challenge for a race win at some point, just to prove to himself and to everyone else that he's still got it. And Hamilton has outqualified Daniel Ricciardo, so in that new partnership they are now 1-for-1 in terms of qualifying sessions. Ricciardo outqualified Hamilton last time in Belgium, and now Hamilton outqualifies Ricciardo this time. So yep, some sort of interesting stories brewing up here in the F1 paddock as we line up on the grid here. You can see preparing for those 5 red lights, and it's all about getting that perfect start on the very long run down to turn 1, where we've obviously got to try and pick our line. Do you want to be inside or outside? Who knows? It all depends on the sort of start you get and the space around you. But we go to 5 red lights and we are away for the Italian Grand Prix. We get a much better start than Sergio Perez on the right. You can see he actually was real slow, and so we are completely ahead of him already. He's actually got Lando Norris challenging him alongside as we head down into turn 1. Leclerc's held pole for the lead of the race, and we're actually alongside Perez again. There's a yellow flag there because we've all gone a bit slow. There was probably a bit of contact with some cars further down the pack, but we do keep ahead of Perez there into P4. Leclerc's kept the lead ahead of Verstappen and Vettel, and then ourselves obviously now in P4 as I just said. So good start from us, really. You can't expect too much better. We made up a spot, and so yeah, that's really the best we could do. And now we just get our head down and try and chase down the 2 Ferraris, and obviously our teammate Verstappen as we now head to the end of lap 2, start of lap 3. We are right on the back of Sebastian Vettel as we head down the main straight. There won't be any DRS this time round. Leclerc sets the fast lap of the race again. We set a purple last sector though, so we do have pace around here. We're right in the slipstream, forcing Vettel to go defensive into turn 1. So at the last second, we're going to go to the outside and brake as late as we dare and go around the outside of turn 1. We'll have the inside for turn 2, and we do get the move done. That is us up into P3 now, with the next car ahead of us being our teammate. And let's see if we can maybe chase him down for P2 and then maybe Leclerc for P1. I don't know what our pace is going to be like around this track quite yet. We've already made up 2 spots, which is good, but you can see here, end of lap 3 now, start of lap 4. Here's Sergio Perez under attack from Lando Norris once again. He's also got his teammate Valtteri Bottas just behind him to watch out for. They're going to go 3 wide. down the main straight towards turn 1. Actually, Norris just gets himself ahead there with the DRS, and Bottas actually gets ahead of his teammate, and now he's alongside Norris. So Bottas going for the double move there. He gets the better traction out of turn 2, and he does get the move there. So very well executed there from Bottas in only his second race in his return to Formula 1 after having the first half of the season off. And yeah, the Season 1 champion proving that he's still got it. Is battling away with the reigning world champion, as we now still on lap 4 here, are very close to the backs of Max Verstappen. We've had a much quicker lap than him. You can see purple sector 1, green sector 2, as we're now going to go to the outside of Parabolica as Max goes defensive. We're going to try and get the cut back there, but unfortunately just not quite well placed enough. But we are right in the slipstream now, and we're actually going to be alongside him before we even get to the DRS zone. We set the fastest lap of the race, and with DRS, it's just sort of rubbing salt in the wounds for our teammate there, as we get ourselves completely ahead of Verstappen, and now chasing down Charles Leclerc for the lead of the race, and we are actually right on the knife's edge of being within a second. You can see it actually just drops to 9/10 as we head through turn 1 and 2, and by the time we get to lap 7 now, so jumping a few laps later, we are well and truly within DRS, and I'm sure we're now going to be able to maybe have a look down the main straight with DRS and slipstream. We're going to use all of our energy deployment to close in on Charles Leclerc here, and you can see we are very, very close before DRS even is enabled for us there on the detection zone as Leclerc goes defensive. So we're going to go to the outside here. This is for the lead of the race. We're going to try and force him to go as tight as possible, and we do get the move done there on Leclerc. He tries to hold the outside of turn 2, but he's not quite able to do it. Now Verstappen actually trying to have a look at our title rival, but he's not quite able to make the move done. As we head through Curva Grande, you can see Leclerc actually getting pretty close to us, but he decides to back out of it. I imagine just waiting for a DRS zone, so it's not quite as risky of a move for him there. As we now head just a bit later on in the lap, here comes Leclerc, actually not even in the DRS zone, heading down towards Parabolica. We weren't even really going defensive, it's just Leclerc was able to move to the outside before we'd even moved over to that section of track, so we're going to go side by side through Parabolica, and now it'll be ourselves, Leclerc and Verstappen in a battle down the main straight here onto lap number 9. No fastest laps this time, obviously, because we've been battling, but I actually got the DRS there, so Leclerc going to be a sitting duck for ourselves, but also Verstappen possibly going for a look. You can see going back to the racing line for ourselves there, Verstappen trying to send around the outside similar to what we did. Is Verstappen actually able to get the move done on the Ferrari this time? No, he's not. Leclerc gets a better run there on the outside of turn 2. And actually a bit further back, Lando battling away with Valtteri Bottas, so Season 1 and Season 2 champions there, battling away for P5 and 6 in the Red Bull and the McLaren, and Bottas does defend there from Lando Norris. But as we now head on to lap 10, we are under threat from Charles Leclerc, Verstappen, and even Sebastian Vettel. He's gotten himself back into this, so a four-way fight, 2 Zvezky cars, 2 Ferrari cars. As we head down into turn 1, we're going to go side by side with Leclerc. He didn't initially get ahead, but we're just very late in the braking zone, and we're once again side by side, but Leclerc again gets the better exit there out of turn 2, and now he's leading the Grand Prix once again. We've got our teammate behind us and Vettel in 4th still, as we're still on lap 10 here. You can see Verstappen is right behind us as we now go side by side into the Ascari chicane. They're getting a little stumble on my words, and Leclerc, he's made contact with Verstappen there, I think, because Leclerc was going very slow from being on that very inside line, and now Max is going real slow through the Ascari chicane. Does he have front wing damage? Yes, he does. He's missing the front left end plate there, so that's a massive shame for Verstappen. In his first 2 races for the team, he's demonstrated he's got pace, where he's battling for the lead here in Italy. He was in the lead in Belgium, but last time in Belgium it was a strategy error. This time out, unfortunately, he's just sort of been caught out with how slow Leclerc was going into the Ascari chicane, and so that's going to be an early pit stop and a front wing change there from our teammate. Hopefully he's able to get himself back into the race, because yeah, this is actually our pit window this lap. We're meant to be coming in at the end of lap 11 here, so it's not like he's had to pit super early. He just might be a little bit put off, as actually the Ferrari's now going side by side. Vettel's come out of absolutely nowhere with this, and now is he going to try and get ahead of his teammate? A little bit of controversy there, but in the Ferrari teammate stables, because obviously Vettel is nowhere near the title fight at the moment, and Leclerc is currently 2 points off of us, so this battle for the lead can mean the difference between coming out of this race leading the championship or in second, which obviously, as we know, can be very crucial to how the championship ends after Abu Dhabi. As we now get to the end of lap 11, we come into the pit lane. Leclerc continues on for another lap, though. Vettel comes in with us, so too does Valtteri Bottas. Lando Norris came in last lap with Verstappen. I don't know if that was damage or if that was a scheduled stop. I don't really know. He is ahead of Verstappen, so I'd assume that it was a scheduled stop, and he just coming in a lap earlier than we were as we go onto the medium tyres. We are going to the end. It's going to be a pretty easy one-stop from the softs to the mediums in this race. You can see Vettel behind us also on the mediums. Verstappen has had to go onto the hards after pitting that one extra lap early. I believe Lando is also on the hards. But you can see there they are, Lando and Max, just in the background. So they haven't lost a stupid amount of time. But they, yeah, obviously they're going to have to hope on us battling away a little bit if they want to get onto this battle for the lead again. You can see here's Leclerc coming out of the pit lane on lap 13, and we've actually gotten a great undercut on him. We're through, and so too is his teammate Sebastian Vettel. So that one extra lap there for Leclerc has really hurt him, as he's dropped now from potentially first down to third, as Verstappen actually battling away with Sainz here, trying to stay ahead of the McLaren, and he does get himself ahead there. I believe that was Sainz coming out of the pit lane just then. And, yeah, Verstappen very crucially getting himself ahead of the McLaren and also keeping ahead of Lewis Hamilton as we head on to lap 14 here. You can see it's a four-way battle for first now. It's between ourselves, Vettel, Leclerc, and even Bottas has somehow gotten himself onto the back of this train out of absolutely nowhere. He's had some mega pace this race after battling away with and beating Lando Norris. Yeah, he's now right on the back of this train for the winners. Here comes Sebastian Vettel to the inside. He's not quite able to do it. And actually, Leclerc's going to try and challenge him around the outside of the Ascari chicane, but he's not quite able to do it as we now head down towards Parabolica. Vettel is once again on the back of us. You can see Bottas going side by side with Leclerc, and now we're going to go side by side with Vettel. So we're going to be 2 by 2 down into Parabolica. We're going to push Vettel right to the inside to make sure he gets a poor run through there, and Bottas has cleaned up both Ferraris there down that straight. Actually, Vettel coming back alongside him now. So as we head down the straight, Vettel actually does just about sneak himself ahead of the Red Bull. So not quite a clean sweep there of the Ferraris for the Red Bull, but now with DRS, we're an absolute sitting duck as Vettel goes through, Bottas goes through, even Leclerc trying to go through here as we're going to go side by side with our title rival, because I'm absolutely desperate to not let Leclerc of all cars to get through. But you can see Vettel is through, and so too with Bottas, and because we battled with Leclerc, these two now have a relatively big gap. It's just over a second from myself to Bottas, so we're going to have to really push if we want to keep inside DRS and make sure we stay in this front fight. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of power to get up there, because these guys are mega quick at this point of the race. I was really struggling to keep in the battle with these guys, as you just saw down that main straight. But actually, Leclerc going real slow, but he doesn't have any front wing damage. You can see his front wing is completely intact, but he's absolutely got something wrong with that car, because he's now 2.5 seconds off of me in just half a lap, and falling into the clutches of the likes of Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo in this sort of second train in the race. So I don't know if it's an engine issue maybe, or if he maybe got a bit of floor damage on a curb or something, but he is massively falling back right now as Lando to the outside of Parabolica, and Verstappen actually sort of getting held up by these two now as they battle away into the final corner. And he's imagine Leclerc's going to come into the pit lane this lap, is he? Yes, he does. He just pulls over to the right there, going into the pit lane. As we now head back to the front pack here on lap 16, we have Vettel, Bottas, and myself battling away for the lead here, and now a three-way fight as Bottas tries to go around the outside here of Vettel to take the lead from the German. He's not quite able to do it as Vettel gets the run out of turn 2, but now we are right on the back of this. Can we maybe benefit? You can see we're trying to have a little look around the outside of the Red Bull, but we're not really able to get the move done there. And looking back to Verstappen, he's in P5 at the moment, trying to chase down Lando Norris once again to get into P4 as we now head on to lap 18. You can see the three of us still very, very close on top of each other. The top three in 3 different teams. This is what we love to see in F1 here. All different teams battling for the race winners. Bottas gets the move done on Vettel this time around. And now we're actually going to try and catch Vettel off guard here and go for another move. Not quite able to make it stick though, unfortunately, as we have to slot back in behind to make sure we get a nice run into Curva Grande. Here we are right on the slipstream where we may be able to go for a move down into the second chicane. You can see Verstappen, unfortunately, not able to make a move stick there on the McLaren, but we actually have made the move done on Sebastian Vettel as we're now into P2 up ahead. So, now we're just chasing down Valtteri Bottas. Unfortunately, I did miss that on camera. It wasn't really anything exciting. We were completely ahead by the time we even made it to the chicane there with our ERS. But now, looking back, actually, this isn't good for Ferrari. Vettel with the exact same issue as Leclerc, going very, very slow. 2.1 seconds off of us now. So now it's just myself and Bottas battling away for the lead up ahead. You can see I've actually gone to the inside of the Ascari chicane. Bottas sends it around the outside there. Actually, very late on the brakes for fin there, and we're going to go side by side down towards Parabolica, but Ferrari and the Tifosi will be absolutely livid that they had 2 cars racing here for the lead of the race. Leclerc's had to pit early with some sort of damage, and now Sebastian's going to have to do the exact same. You can see side by side through Parabolica for myself and Bottas. This is really heated up now that there's only the 2 of us instead of 4 of us as we head down onto lap 21. I'm right in the slipstream. I've got the DRS. Actually, no, I don't. Yes, I do. I couldn't tell there whose flap was open. It was mine. We're alongside each other down towards turn 1, and do we have the move here? Bottas, she still holds it there, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to hold around the outside of turn 2, but we have actually made a beautiful crisscross, and now we're going to go side by side through Curvagondo again, so we're still going side by side here, myself and Bottas. We just can't seem to decide who's going to be in front in this battle for now, as we head into the second chicane. I've got the better line, so with the inside for turn 1, outside for turn 2 of that chicane, and we do get the better traction, and that is us into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix finally, with Bottas falling in behind us. Ricciardo currently sits in 3rd place in Mercedes A. He's doing well in his new team. Norris sits 4th, Verstappen 5th. Sainz in the other McLaren sits in P6. He's yeah, I mentioned he's going to be wanting to beat Norris to prove that he's world champion material there. Perez sits in 7th, not having a great race for Red Bull. Hamilton down in P8, and then the last of the top 10 is P. Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauris, which is unusual to see because normally it's the Alpines that are rounding out the top 10 there. So good to see AlphaTauri making a little bit of a step there in progress as we head on to lap 22. Here comes Bottas now with the DRS, and we're sort of just a sitting duck. We're using ERS and everything, and he's just completely gone. I couldn't do anything about that. So Bottas into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix again. We're just going to have to sit back and try and do the exact same move we did last time with a bit of DRS like he just did to us. But you can see here, lap 24, all this squabbling between us has allowed this entire pack to close in. So I was saying we've gone from a battle pack of 4 to a battle pack of 2. Well, now look at this. It's a battle pack of 8 as we head down towards turn 1 with 3 laps to go. Any one of us could win this race as we get the move done on Valtteri Bottas. He tries to keep his nose in there, and actually he has done so. So as we head out of turn 2, he's going to get the better traction. I thought we were ahead there. No, Bottas is back into the lead as we're now in the slipstream. We've got Lando Norris looking in right behind us, so he's gotten ahead of Ricciardo. Ricciardo sits in P4 now ahead of our teammate as we're going to have a look to the inside of the chicane with Valtteri Bottas, just like we did last time. Can we get the better exit out of the second corner here as we go around the outside? Bottas has forced us off the track onto the gravel as Lando goes through. Now same too with Daniel Ricciardo, our former teammate. I tried to fight it there to stay in the 3rd, but now we're back down to 4th. Verstappen battling away there with Perez for 5th, so Perez making up 2 spots out of nowhere as well. But yeah, I guess Bottas knew what happened last time and he wasn't going to let it happen again. So we've gone from battling for 1st to now having a look to get back into P3 ahead of our former teammate as we head into the Ascari chicane round the outside of our former teammate in the Mercedes. And that is us back into P3 on the podium. Now right on the back of Lando Norris, who's also on the back of Bottas. So luckily, we didn't go right off in the gravel or spin or anything. And so we're still in this battle for the lead. But with 2 laps to go, we're going to have to really push and give it everything if we want to win this race. We send it to the inside of Parabolica there, out of absolutely nowhere, not even waiting for the DRS straight, because obviously Lando would just have DRS on Bottas, and I want to be the one to have DRS on Bottas and take him into turn 1 as we now head onto lap 26. 2 laps to go. We've got Lando right behind us. I'm going to go to the inside. No, straight to the outside as Bottas defends there with DRS, and we're going to send it on brakes as late as possible. I don't want Bottas to try and get the run out of the second corner here, and he hasn't. We've got the move done. He tries to get the crisscross that we got on him, but it hasn't worked, so we lead the race again. Somehow within that lap, we're able to go from off track after battling with Bottas to back ahead of him into turn 1. So yeah, very lucky to not lose a bunch of time here. But you can see just halfway through lap 26 here comes Bottas with DRS into the Ascari chicane. I'm going to try and force him to the inside to do the same thing we did with Leclerc, where he had to slow right up, but he hasn't been able to do it. In fact, he's just completely cut the corner there. So, yeah, I don't know how he's gotten away with that, but he now leads the race after just going straight across the first bit of the Ascari chicane to make sure he didn't have to slow down. And now we got Lando Norris trying to attack us here as I've had to lose time slowing up for Bottas coming across us there in the chicane. And now Bottas has a nice gap. Are we going to be able to close into him? I don't know, because now we've got Ricciardo behind us out of absolutely nowhere, and he's going to attack us, so I'm going to have to pull out of Bottas' slipstream. We'll still have DRS, but I have to pull out of the slipstream to try and defend from Ricciardo, so we're not going to be close enough to Bottas to go for a move into turn 1 on the last lap of the Grand Prix. We defend from Ricciardo. Are we going to be close enough to make a move on Bottas on this last lap to win the race, or is Bottas going to win his first race? I don't even know if he won in Season 2, so it could even be Season 1 when he last won his last race when he won his championship. But you can see through the Ascari chicane here, I'm still not close enough to the Red Bull to get a move done as we head down towards Parabolica. This is it. This is our last opportunity to make a move, and I'm just not catching him. I don't have the straight line speed for it. As we head into Parabolica, not even going to try and do a dive there because it's too fast of a corner, not enough of a braking zone. We are right on the back. Can we maybe make a move? We lose the rear end there massively, and I have to catch it. So Bottas is going to win the Italian Grand Prix. We're going to finish second and Ricciardo third.
Yes, that's a podium. Excellent drive. The team have worked especially hard this weekend, and this is a fantastic reward.
They made great use of the clear air today then and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
And so funnily enough now, after Verstappen leaves Red Bull claiming that they didn't have a car fast enough to win races just on merit, they've gone and done it twice now on the trot, with Perez winning in Belgium, Bottas winning here in Monza, and Verstappen has only been able to score a P6 in those two races. I'm sure he won't be too happy about that, but we know, again, we know he's got the pace to win races and to qualify on pole because he's done it. He's won races in the Red Bull. He can win with us because he's gotten a pole and a P2 in the two qualifying sessions he's done, but here we are with the results. Bottas winning the Grand Prix ahead of ourselves in second, Ricciardo third. In the other Red Bull, Perez finished fourth, so a great weekend there for Red Bull, with Norris fifth, Verstappen sixth, Sainz seventh, Hamilton eighth, Gasly ninth, and Leclerc rounds out the top 10 there for Ferrari, getting a singular point for the Tifosi team here in Monza, which I'm sure they'll be absolutely livid about, looking like when they could have possibly gone for a 1-2. In terms of the driver standings, this has massively helped us. We are now lead, but with 19 points, the biggest margin for the leader so far this season, I believe. So, yeah, a very strong position for us. Verstappen only 51 points off of us, so technically, yeah, he's within a chance of winning. I don't know if he can really close in on that over the course of the championship, though, but we are now only 8 points off of Ferrari in the Constructors, which is the most important stat at the moment, because obviously that's what we're going for this season. This is my team career, so whilst drivers' championships are nice, the main premise of this is to get the Constructors, and so that's what we're going for, and we are challenging Ferrari for that this season by the looks of it, which is very nice. So, yeah, that's the plan. Just keep attacking. But with just some interesting news here, after his third place here in Monza, Ricciardo has announced he'll be retiring from F1 after this season is finished. Obviously, we won't see the aftermath of that, because this is our final season as well in this iteration of the game. But just to sort of keep the story going there, you can see Ricciardo maybe going to try and prove that he's still got it as he exits F1 here in his final season. But that is all, guys. Next time I'll be in Japan, so if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.